Hello everybody, welcome to Short Shot Archery. Anthony here, and today I finally get to put together my Chaser Archery Python riser, 25-inch riser, ILF limbs, that's what it accepts. And today we get to put on some of the main components such as the arrow rest, the plunger, the clicker, and I'm going to put the clicker extension on as well because, well, I need a clicker extension. So I will be installing them today on this riser, and it should be a fun adventure. So yeah, stay tuned. So first off, I'm going to do the easiest install on this bow, and that is putting on the supplied clicker extension. As you can see, it is significantly longer than the one that comes already pre-installed on the bow. You do get both, so it's not like you have to worry about buying a longer clicker extension. Okay, so I searched through my bag of Allen keys I have that were supplied by Chaser Archery, and I found the one for the clicker extension, so it's a matter of unscrewing the small one. And then taking the bigger, longer clicker extension out of its bag and just simply screwing it back in with the same screw that I took out for the smaller clicker extension. So super easy add-on to this bow, no work required really. Alright, and it tightens on nice and easy, nice and secure there, looks good, fits well. Alright, next up I think we're going to put on the arrow rest. So my arrow rest of choice for this bow build is the Shibuya Ultima arrow rest. It's pretty much the most common rest used in Olympic recurve, and it was the most popular rest used at the last Olympic Games. So it's one that I choose to use because, well, I've always had good results with it, and I like how well they're built and just you know, how Shibuya makes its products. So here's our little black arrow rest. We're gonna take it off of its backing here, and we're gonna free it. All right, so we have our arrow rest off. Looking great, everything's working great. But before we put this on, we're gonna have to prep the surface of the riser just to make sure that this adheres as well as it could possibly adhere. So to clean our riser, I am using some isopropyl alcohol, 70%, and I'm just going to be dumping this Q-tip into the bottle. Just dip the Q-tip into the bottle, quickly pull it out, and then I'm going to take it and just rub it where I'm going to be mounting my rest. I'm just going to do this whole area, and in a few minutes it should evaporate away and that surface will be nice and clean. You could use the back side of the Q-tip to help dry the area and, you know, clean off anything that may be stuck, more than just like some dust particles or something. And with that nice and dry, we can then place the arrow rest onto our plunger hole of choice. Now, I'm going to be installing my arrow rest on the back plunger, or the plunger that is closer to you, the shooter. So we're going to carefully remove the backing on this. Now it's free. We're going to use the arm of the rest to help us maneuver this into place, and we are going to carefully line it up on the riser. Alright, I have it on there. I have not pressed it down, so it is still movable. At this point, I am going to break out my plunger that I'm going to be installing before I press this down, just to make sure that there isn't a clearance issue when I install this plunger. The plunger I'm using is a biter plunger, and it looks like I have put the arrow rest in the correct spot. It is lined up very nicely. So I'm going to proceed to then just press down around this arrow rest. I can even remove the plunger if I want to. And I'll just keep pressing down and holding. Press down, hold. Alright, this arrow rest should be very well stuck to this riser at this point in time. Of course, if you can wait, it may be worth waiting, 24 hours before actually shooting any arrows off of it. But, that is up to you. And of course, always read the directions Shibuya provides for any details or concerns on the installation of your arrow rest. Now back to our plunger. I'm going to reinstall the plunger now. And it fits great into this riser. As you can see, it's looking very nice. And it's really neat how the orange clicker extension really sticks out from this bow. For me, black is one of my favorite bow colors. I have other colors that I do like bows in, but I don't know, something was telling me, you know what, let's try black on this riser. And I like it, I really do. And I think the orange clicker extension really provides a nice accent to this riser. Okay, so with those two things, or three things technically installed, our plunger, our arrow rest, and our extension, we're gonna move on to the clicker. So, my clicker of choice is the Biter clicker. I am using the chrome blade, and I will be installing that onto one of our two clicker holes right here. Alright, now that I have freed the clicker, I can go and see which hole it lines up best on. I think I'm going to have to take off the screw and move it up a slot. Alright, it looks like it's going to work best on the bottom hole for me. Of course, when I go and tune this bow and get it set up for my draw length and everything like that, there may be some adjustments made, but for now, I think it will work in this position. So at this point, this riser is really coming along. It's looking great. I really like all the choices I made. Of course, I like everything to match, and black pretty much matches with everything. But we have one other thing to add to this riser, and that is going to be a mount for my sight. Alright, so in order to install our Shibuya sight mount, we need a Phillips head screwdriver, and I also had to purchase separately from the mount two Phillips head screws. I have a video explaining the screw size you need and how it should fit most risers if you're not doing this build on a Python riser. Okay, we got our two screws in there. Gonna turn this puppy around, line it up, and I'm just gonna screw each one in just a little bit. Now that I have both the screws screwed just a little bit, as you can see, this can still move a lot, I am now going to proceed to tighten them much more. I'm gonna make it snug, but not super tight. That way, we're not, pushing the mount around on our riser and possibly scratching it all up. Alright, now that they're snug and it's not really moving, we're going to go and finish tightening. Alright, nice and tight. Nice and tight. And there we go. So now my Chaser Archery Python riser is fully built, and it's looking really great. I can't wait to string this thing up and go and shoot it. Well, I might just do that right now. Let's go and hit the range and see how this thing shoots. Please note though that this riser is completely untuned, and this will be the first shot or first shots out of this riser. So please don't judge too harshly until I actually have it fully set up. but here's a little taste on, you know, how it should perform, you know, as I put all the components on it and tune them properly to me so that I can shoot it to the best of my ability. All right, so this is the first arrow out of this bow. I just put some limbs on it, put a string on it, and set a very generic knocking point. The alignment looks pretty good. I did just throw some biter blocks on it real quick. I may have my clicker too short. We'll see how this goes, but yeah, here we go. Oh. You know, for not doing anything. Okay, I don't know if you guys can hear it. That was pretty quiet, and I haven't touched anything. Like, I just after the teardown video, I put this thing back together, put an even amount of twist in it. I haven't even checked tiller on this to see if it's even. It feels pretty even. It feels pretty good. Yeah, my clicker's definitely out a little too far. All right, we'll fix that. This one will probably be too short now. Definitely has a good good flow to it, and like, so I'm running the same stabilizer I normally run on my other bow. It's actually the same exact stabilizer. I just put it on this one. I do have another stabilizer for this bow. I'm running the same exact sight and the same exact, this is also off my MK. Just, you know, just for this little clip at the end of this video, because I really wanted to give this a try after putting everything on. And yeah, a really smooth shot-wise. It's very interesting. I am using the MK Veracity limbs. With this setup, this is probably a little heavier than my normal, but it's probably about, I would say where I have the limb bolts now, I'm probably sitting at like 48 pounds or so. I normally shoot about 47, maybe 46, depending on the what drawl gauge, you know, poundage check gauge you're using to check the weight of the bows. They seem to vary some, and mine at home is only spring-loaded, it's not electronic. So yeah, it's a little bit heavier, but it's really using, you know, the riser's really letting the limbs draw back this bow quite smooth. Like, it's pretty buttery. And then even the shots wise, they're coming out of the bow nice and quick, and they're shooting very smooth as well. Like on my MK, it shoots very nice, but it's definitely more of a when it shoots, it's not a hard shot. It's a different type of shot than this. This has a much smoother shot. But of course, I haven't tuned anything, and what are we on, arrow like 4? This is number 4 that I've ever shot out of this riser. So very interesting. Yeah, we'll definitely look forward to a review in the future as I do more testing with this and actually tune it to shoot these arrows. They look pretty good at the target here. Oh. Just in case anybody wants to know, we're not shooting 70 or anything crazy. This is like 15 meters, and I'm just aiming at the center of my 70-meter target. So there's no point in showing you arrows-wise. There's a cute little group down there, but I wasn't really aiming for a group. I just wanted to shoot the bow and see how it felt. But yeah, overall, very interesting so far. So hopefully you liked the bow build, and then this follow-up into you know, giving it a few test shots right at the end here. So thank you so much for watching. If you have questions on this riser, check out Chaser Archery .com. I have a link and everything down in the description, and you can see more about the bow there and get in contact with them if you want to pick one up. But yeah, I'll definitely be working with this in between, working with, of course, my main bow, because I do have US Nationals and other major tournaments. But other than that, yeah, this is exciting. So look forward to a video sometime in the future when I feel comfortable with making one that's going to provide good information. And also, as always, happy shooting!